Hey, you're watching Preppy Kitchen, where I, John Cannell, teach you how to make delicious homemade dishes to share with your family and friends. Today, one of my favorite cookies, chocolate chip oatmeal. Crisp on the outside, chewy on the inside, chocolate, big hit of salt, the works. Oh my gosh, let's get started. I'm so excited for this recipe because I've been craving oatmeal cookies. These cookies are for me. I will be sharing most of them, but I'll be having the first few. And while I'm at it, I'm trying one variation where I add big flakes of sea salt on top, very similar to my peanut butter chocolate chip cookie, which is another favorite of mine, which I might have to make right after this, I don't know. I'm in a cookie mode. First off, we're whisking 1 cup of flour along with half a teaspoon of baking soda, but I want to show you something first. I'm actually going to reach into my bag, level off a cup of flour, and let's see what it weighs at. Oh my God, you saw I didn't pack anything in there. That's 166 grams. 1 cup of flour is more like 120, so I'm going to remove some away. See all this in here? All this flour in here is extra. Watch this. If you're only using cups to measure flour, fluff it up. You could spoon it in. I have a whole video on this. You can click up here for how to measure flour. It is the most common and drastic mistake people will make because cups are not the best for measuring weight. That's all I'm going to say about that. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. Whisk it up. You could sift it if you want, but we don't need to. Set it aside, and now for the butter sugar situation. To the bowl of a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, I'm adding in 1/2 cup of unsalted butter at room temperature. Cream it up. Half a teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup, or about 66 grams of granulated sugar, and then 2/3 cup, 1, 2, of light brown sugar, and then pack it in a bit. It's gonna be about 140 grams, maybe 133.333. Who's to say? Scrape that bowl down. Butter really hardened up. Mix it all up until it's totally homogeneous. We're gonna use 1 room temperature egg for this recipe, so crack it into a bowl just to be safe. Now go back to mixing on low. Add in 2 teaspoons of a nice vanilla and 1 egg. It is important for the ingredients to be room temperature, so don't use cold ingredients. Once that egg is all mixed in, we're gonna add the flour, so just dump it in. I started incorporating the flour in just a little bit by hand before I mix it, so there's not a big pool of like butter, sugar, eggs at the bottom. Mix it on low until it's combined. That's just combined. All right, now it's time for the oats. I'm not gonna weigh them out because it's not as crucial. 1.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. Unlike quick oats, these will keep their shape and really like absorb the butter and kind of crisp up and give you a delightful texture. And of course, 1 cup of chocolate chips. I'm using semi-sweet, but if you love bittersweet, that is an option as well. We're just gonna stir this in ever so gently. I can finish the rest off by hand, so I have total control. If you're using the last of your chocolate chips, by the way, save some for the very end of this recipe because you want to stick them on top for some nice pretty cookies. If you care about that sort of thing. They're not going to taste different, but it's nice to have some clean chocolate chips on top. So right now I'm just using my metal handled spatula to finish mixing in any random oats and chocolate chips. You could finish this off in the stand mixer. I'm finishing it off by hand just so I have control and can really distribute the chocolate chips and maybe get a little bit of exercise. You gotta take every chance you can get. You could bake this now, but I'm gonna cover it and pop it into the fridge so it can chill for about an hour. Chilling the dough is just gonna let the cookie hold its shape a bit better and spread out less in the oven, and it also helps the flavors come together. Like when you have like a soup or something, it's better the next day because the flavors kind of like came together in the fridge. It's actually the same for a cookie. So cover and into the fridge you go. My dough's been chilling for a little bit over an hour, so it's time to get scooping in a bacon. All right, so we're gonna need about 2 tablespoons per cookie. This is a little bit larger, so I'm not gonna overfill it. I have a ton of these ice cream scoopers and there's various sizes and they're not all labeled, so I'll literally use a tablespoon of water and carefully spin it in to see how much they hold. This is an appropriate size for the cookie though. Give it a quick roll. onto the baking sheet, and they will be spreading out, so you do need to give them a little bit of space. Let's say 2 inches per cookie. I can feel the oats in my hand when I roll the cookies, and I love it because my favorite is cookies with some texture and bite, and these have that. But they're still chewy in the middle, so they have kind of like a little bit of something for everybody, in my humble opinion. If you want a delicious cookie recipe with no baking, try my no-bake cookie recipe. It has oats, peanut butter, chocolate. They're addictively amazing. I think I might need to whip a batch up pretty soon. One of the things I love about making cookie dough is that you can bake up however much you want and then save the rest in the fridge or freezer for later. So when someone is requesting a midnight snack, you can just go downstairs and say, okay, be back in a jiffy. My first batch is ready for the oven, but before they go in, I'm going to stick just a couple of chocolate chips on top, and they're not covered in any cookie dough, so you're gonna have a nice visual. I'm also gonna try it with a little bit of sea salt sprinkled on top. Add some sea salt. These amazing cookies are gonna go into the oven at 375 for 8 to 10 minutes. That's Butch saying, cookie crisp. Anyways, into the oven at 375 for 8 to 10 minutes. They will not be baked all the way through. Like most cookies, they have to hang out here, set up, and then you can handle them. But like if you pull them out of the oven and try and eat them right away, you're gonna be scalding your mouth and they're gonna fall apart. Word to the wise. If you like this recipe, check out my cookie playlist. It has all my favorite cookies, including those peanut butter chocolate chip ones I talked about at the beginning of the video. Now it is time for a bite. The crunch, oh my God, I love the crunch on the outside. By the way, the sea salt ones are actually amazing too. I tried those out and I love the salt and chocolate mixing together. If you like this recipe, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.